Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurmam Amritam Gamaya Om Sarve Swarupe Sarveshe Sarve Shakti Samanvite Bhayebhyastrahino Devi Durge Devi Namostute. Hari Om. Jai Sri Ram, Jai Mata Di, and welcome to Hinduism in Focus. We are continuing this great discourse on Navaraatri, which we establish one celebration known by three main names: Vasant-Chaitra-Raam, Chaitra-Navaraatri, and Rama-Navaraatri. And each name, there's an underlining common thread which captures the essence of each of the name, so also its purpose. And that is the Vasant, which is a spring, a time to rejuvenate, to renew ourselves. Nature itself renews naturally. Chaitra is the beginning of the Hindu years, a time to renew again. And Ramanavami, a time when we renew our whole spiritual journey and our whole spiritual desire and the whole spiritual goal, as it were, to remind and reinvigorate our own energies to that extent. And that energy should be directed to the welcome or the appearance of Lord Sri Rama, which is called Ram Navami, the culmination of this Navaratri. And it is in that context we were trying to show how the energy from within in a grand spiritual affair has to be used to bring the seeker, the sadhaka, you and I, to that attainment. And if it is not used, it is just a dry process of 9 or 8 days. And that those who are serious, who the serious sadhaka, the serious bhakta, he or she must use this process only to advance his spiritual cause. Every other cause is advanced normally outside of Navaratri. That is to say, if you have a family, you work every day to bring that family, to take care of that family, to pay bills, to educate children, to live what is called a good life in whatever context. So normal things are taken care of. You watch before you cross the road. Everything is fine. But are we taking care of our real purpose, of our real journey, and that is to attain to mukti, to bring Ramachandra's presence in our hearts? And this is when Navaratri comes in. And it comes at a time when we are all seeking renewal. We are seeking to return to some deeper meaning and definition of who or what we are. And to get there requires each of us to find the power from within us. And that the externals prompt to this is called the mother worship, the mother puja, her murti, her image. The satsang is set up, the hymns and praises are chanted. So also it is meant to connect you and I to what is called the path of Shreya, the path of the good. This is the human's problem. The Bhagavad Gita addresses this in the inception, in the beginning. And birth after birth, we are all bounded in this whole cycle over and over, bounded by the path of the pleasant, called prayers, the path of the pleasant things of the world. Not that they are not necessary, in fact they are necessary, but they are not absolute necessary. They have a limited role. To the extent that that role and purpose is achieved, that is their relevance. But those who are drowned in it now, the world has to lift itself out of it. So Navratri comes to remind us of that need to lift ourselves from the path or out of the path of the pleasant to the path of the good, Shreyas. To do that does not require what we call anything anything outside of us or anything that someone has to bring to us. It requires the awakening of something inside of us. And to bring about that awakening, we set up the outside worship of the mother. It's called Shakti. It is called energy, the wherewithal, which you don't see it. It is intangible, but that has to be tapped into. And we saw when it is tapped into in the Bhagavad Gita, and we saw that thing is called Kriya Shakti, the power of dynamism, to awaken back the lion in us. So Durga rides a lion, Sheravalima, or sometimes a tiger, all of these things. Right? It is to roll up from inside that we are not weak. We will not be a fallen person because of things around us like Arjuna. But because of the human experience, we all have to go through it. But when we fall, we can get up again, rise to the occasion from within, Kriya Shakti. Having risen within, having brought back the original spirit from within, we have to seek Daivi Sampad. We have to seek the divine wealth. Arjuna is seeking the kingdom of Hastinapur, of Indraprastha in Mahabharata. But how is he seeking this kingdom? Through who? Through Krishna. We have to seek everything in this world, have them, but don't forget they're through the Lord. The moment we forget this, we fall trapped to it and we go down a path of papa, of destruction. So the Kriya Shakti, Durga, who is inside every you. Look, you don't have to believe this. This is a natural, inescapable occurrence, process in the life of every human, every race, every gender. It is so universal, it finds itself everywhere. And until this happens, there will continue to be turmoils in the world. But the Hindu heritage, the Hindu rishis, this culture has long given the answer. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, look, you have to lift yourself up from within by your own efforts. The outside will only help a little bit there and here and there, but you have to do the work. Navaraatri reminds us, look, the material to do the work is already here. It is called Shakti. Now it is from one end Kriya Shakti, dynamism. This end now it becomes Icha Shakti, manifests as Mother Lakshmi. Look, in Mother Lakshmi's image, you see, oh, she's mother of this wealth. So endless gold coins are falling from her vessel, her lotus there, right? You see in the image. And we say, oh, this is what I want. You know the symbolism of that? It is the wealth of Devi, of divinity, the wealth of spirituality. What Lakshmi gives, we are getting that every day. She gives all the time. You don't have to ask her for that. You want things of the world, you're getting it. Certainly. But their true wealth surpasses the things of the world. In fact, the first wealth, which is the things of the world, must be used to achieve the source of Lakshmi's wealth, which is endless. It's called Daivi Sampad, the list of the ultimate divine wealth. That is called Icha Shakti, the ability to utilize our willpower to the ability to see beyond the traps of the samsara, and the ability to rise in our wealth of divinity. It's called Mother Lakshmi, Icha Shakti. When Vasant comes, the spring in which this Navaraatri is absorbed, it is a reminder that Vasant brings life. It returns life so that we can continue to re-engineer ourselves to attain to the highest wealth of mukti. Chaitra Navaraatri, the same Navaraatri is called Chaitra, reminds us at the beginning it is necessary for us to use the willpower to achieve the divine wealth. And then that wealth comes as Mahavishnu, who becomes Rama on Ram Navami. He manifested. So if we have to develop the Icha Shakti, the willpower that reminds us constantly of our inherent wealth of Paramatman. We are divine self. We are forgetting that we are divine self and we are the true wealth from within, and we think that the things outside are true, and we go about and get them and we are still sad from within. Now don't misunderstand this. First, you have to understand the things outside are necessary. Go and gather them in any amount. Achieve anything you wish, but bring them under the control of your divine self from within, your willpower that is based on the prayers. Prayers means the good, which Lakshmi represents. Bring them under the divine control so that you will then enjoy the things of the world and you will not lose the mukti. You will get there faster. This is the formula. The formula is to just recognize it is all Icha Shakti. It is all the power from within. Everything comes from the source. Use it, enjoy it. Then you'll be happy. So the Navaraatri prepares us for this purpose. The tapping into the Icha Shakti. So Ramachandra will manifest in our hearts. Now look, if you have not come to use your willpower to recognize that every possession, the source of them is from the Lord and not anywhere else, then the heart becomes impure. Where would Ram stay? Where would he manifest on his birthday? It is like Ramchandra went to the forest, as we know, in exile, and he goes to Valmiki's ashram and he asks, where should I stay? Oh great sage. Great sage says, you are asking me this question when you are Sarvagyan, you're all knowing, Sarvavyapi, you're all present in everything, omnipresent, omniscient, you're Sarva Shaktiman, you're omnipotent. You're asking me where you should stay? But Valmiki understands this is a Leela, this is a sport of the Lord. So he begins to tell where Ram should stay. And he lists where Ram should stay. It is that heart which has these conditions, which we will do sometime, that Ram manifests. And in Navaraatri is to create the heart of the human to reach these requirements so that Ramachandra manifests, and that manifestation, that birth is called Ram Navami, the end of this Navaratri. And the power of Lakshmi called Icha Shakti is to help to prepare that place. Anything in this world requires requirements. Once you reach them, you get it. So same thing in the spiritual life. And the Navaratri prepares that process. So Valmiki ji now tells Bhagwan Ram where and where you should stay. We will go to this discourse sometime. So keep following. Tomorrow when we meet, we will continue. Until then, may grace of Mother Lakshmi and Bhagwan Sri Ramachandra be with all of you. Jai Siya Ram, Jai Mata Di.